That's what I thought. Oh wow, the one and only Colton has shown himself. He's gonna jam there, and Rahul goes on 2. Point for SpydReverse. Rip. Colton, you probably never will because the game works here. That's terrible. It's gonna hit low, hits front rim. And that's gonna be an ace by Rahul. Not really much speed to that ball. I'm really curious how Cooper's gonna do this matchup, you know, because they are playing the #1 team. Cooper's still a bit inexperienced. I hope he's not nervous, but I guess we'll see. I mean, he gets aced by probably one of the worst serves I've seen Rahul do. And if Acers is going to have any chance of winning, it's going to come from Colton holding on serve receive and Colton acing. A good up, sets a little bit off, Colton goes for the wrap, finds it, and that's going to be a point for Acers. I don't know. I mean, he's managing. He doesn't have a job, so at least I don't think he does right now. Last time I talked to him, he didn't have a job, so he was just, I think, pretty much doing round net. So a great little lefty by Cooper there. David with a tap on. I think Cooper a little bit on his heels there. Maybe could have made a better play on that ball. Yeah, he flies for free with his, because his dad works for American. So he does stand by. And that's going to be disgustingly wide cut serve by David there. Cooper Diaz not even knowing what to do. Goes for the reverse. But like I mentioned, this game is really going to come down to Colton. You know, I think it's hard because that is a lot of pressure for one person playing a team of 2 people that are good at serve balling. And if Colton is performing well, then Cooper Diaz needs to perform well in his setting, and that's going to be a disgusting cut serve by, or reverse cut by Colton. My goodness. Gets so low, goes to the left side of David. Not even knowing what to do there. Doesn't even move. That was disgusting. Oh my gosh. Dang. So much spin. Beautiful. Ugh. What's up, Germ? I didn't even know you were here. Yeah, it was bad. That was good. And bad set by David. I think they're off not play. I wanted to see his pocket. And I don't think it was. I think it was like literally 1 square away from being pocket, but he finds beautifully on the net and a beautiful reverse there. Good up by Colton. Cooper going on to something that Acers has really been struggling with. Cooper has a bad tendency of going on to and not finishing it. You know, if you're going to go on to, you have to put the ball away. And he always hits downward into a rim or pocket and then... See Colton kind of already getting mad. That's literally what he does a lot. Cooper, you're watching this, don't hit on 2. Oh yeah, I just noticed that. Yeah, for those of you watching, in case y'all didn't know, WySpike is also a one time a year competitive volleyball team. We play at this tournament in our city that pretty much invites a lot of people, and I don't know, have we placed like top 3 every year? I feel like we've placed pretty high most years. I think this game's gonna be cut short unless SpydReverse just keeps acing, but I anticipate that there will be a overheating of the phone because it is a 10-minute video. Gonna call it? No, it's double fault. It's gonna be Acers to serve with Cooper Diaz. Davis shouldn't have too much of a problem returning him. A few fakes here and there, hits front rim. And a front rim. Point for SpydReverse. I mean, I still can't get over that reverse. That reverse is disgusting. They rode line pretty well. David going for his backhand, something we've been seeing him do more of in Gold League. And honestly, not a bad serve. You know, when it gets on, it's doing a pretty good job of keeping momentum. Only problem with it is you pretty much know when he's going to do it. He takes a very wide step, so it's pretty easy to adjust. But I mean, with that being said, like, it's still something, if you don't have a good lefty reserve receive, then it's going to be hard for you to handle. And I personally have not played against it, so I don't know. I've only seen it in film, but it looks like it's getting pretty good velocity on it. A good touch from Colton, a little bit off net, has to hit it into David, and that's going to be the put away. Point for SpydReverse. Yeah, and this is something that's going to be hard for Colton to fight against. You know, I think so far Cooper's been done a good job of keeping the ball in the air. Not putting it in the center of net, though, is going to be hard just because I feel like Rahul and David are more accustomed to Colton's hitting, and if it's off net hitting, I mean, it's only going to go one way, which they should be able to play pretty easy defense on. Rahul to serve. Tries to cut it. He's going to clip the front rim. Off to play. No, they don't. It's just a bad set. Rahul with the receive. I feel like he's been doing that a lot. Where it's like, the moment it hits his body, he moves another body part and flicks it up. He did that in Michigan as well. When he's getting a bad touch on the ball, he just kind of flinks his body and somehow gets an up on it. (11-6) with David to serve. Goes for a drop. Colton laying out for it, but sadly can't get there. Yeah, that's one of those things that, you know, I think they're playing a little bit farther from David just to be able to have space to move to get to his cuts. But David notices that and goes for his drops, which I would still fight him on just because I'd rather him do his drop than his other serves. But I don't know, that's just me. Acers to serve 7-12 with Colton Mowry against Rahul. Goes for a reverse, does not put it on. Nice low serve. Rahul gets a hand on it. It's going to be a little bit off net. Hits it hard, almost getting it on. Point for Acers. Oh, yeah. In case y'all didn't know, or I mean, y'all wouldn't know. Colton and I worked out, I think, the day before this match, and we did, I believe, leg day. Yeah, that's why your legs are sore. We did leg day, and that was our first time back to working out in a while, so. Thought he got the ace there. I think he's going to call side pocket, but I thought it looked clean to me. Probably going to take first here. I forget, was it first or second? Yeah, it was second. Never mind. SpydReverse serve here with Rahul. Yeah, and that will do it. If your legs are sore, committing to drops is even harder. I mean, it's one thing to lay it out, it's another thing to be moving towards it too. Rahul really not putting on serves. I feel like Rahul does not put on serves in Gold League. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like it's really David putting on the most whenever Gold League comes around. Or if Rahul does put him on, it's not like super deadly serves we've been seeing him do like in Michigan or something. Cooper Diaz has served 9-13. Down 4 right now. Goes for a nice push. Rahul gets a good hand on it. He's going to drop it. Catches Colton with a jump, and it's a point for SpydReverse. And that's going to be where it cuts off. I believe it overheated, and maybe they didn't know. Colton, if you have the score of the first game, you can share it if you don't remember. Yeah. We are going to have to... Your boy accidentally closed down the Gmail. So I have to go back and get the rest of the game. Or rest of the match, I should say. 21-13. Guessing it's favor of SpydReverse, considering they already had more than 13. Week 6. And from what Colton told me before I started to stream, I think they only have 3 games uploaded. Series 2 Game 1, Series 2 Game 2. Well, they have Series 1 Game 2. So we can watch that. It's an 8-minute video. I guess it's more content though, so we'll go for it. It probably overheats again though.
SpydReverse versus Acers? Series 1 Game 2.
Series 1 Game 2. Alright, we're back. Okay, cool. So, sorry, I don't know if y'all on y'all's end it was still showing the matchup, but on my end it didn't show that it was, so I wanted to make sure it was reconnected in time for y'all to look at it. And yeah, see, so if, like for me it's showing 0 viewers now, so I don't even know if, I think it bugged out for y'all. Oh my goodness, David, stop talking and serve. Wow, they took a long time to start this game. Alright, it's going to be David to serve. Of course, Colton's going to be serve receiving first. I think he gets a reverse on Colton there. It's going to be a point for SpydReverse. Almost got a decent first touch on the ball. Looked like it went a little bit slower than usual. And then David getting a wide cut on Cooper Diaz. Cooper Diaz really not knowing how to return the serves. He's been very far from most of the touches there. A good up by Colton is going to go a little bit far though. I think they're going to call a pocket though. Yeah, that's going to be a point for Acers. I'll hold you up. Gets a nice cut. Cooper getting a pretty decent touch on the ball. It's a little bit wide though, and Colton can't get a set on it. Point for SpydReverse, and it's really just honestly SpydReverse not acing them too hard, but they are, you know, it's either an ace or it's forcing bad touches. And then the sets aren't getting there for WyField Acers, so SpydReverse is taking those points pretty easily. Colton the serve goes for a cut, doesn't put it on. Gonna go fault SpydReverse serve. I think David's gonna go for his backhand, does not though. Yeah, he's going for his backhand. Does he get that on? Oh, almost gets it on. I think it barely skids off the rim. Doing a better job of performing that faster. I feel like the past few times he's done it in Gold League, it hasn't really been a fast serve. Like, the actual serve has been fast, but the motion for it and the form has kind of been slower, and he's slowed it down. But what he just did with Colton, you know, if he puts that on, it's probably going to get an ace. Because he does it very quickly, but of course the accuracy takes a hit. Hard serve into Cooper Diaz, and that's going to be another ace for Rahul Murthy. And yeah, this is looking like SpydReverse's game. A good set from Cooper there. And Colton with the push down the middle. Beautifully executed. Hold up. Colton to serve 4-8. Down half now. Not out of reach yet. A wide cut. Rahul gets a good handle on it. And David's going to drop it. I think Cooper... It's still definitely... I mean, on-twos are generally hard. But the moment that ball is served, he needs to start moving around a little bit. Just to block off options for the offense. A cut serve by David, and really just so many no-touch aces against Cooper. And then Colton not really getting no-touched ace, but definitely forced bad touches. And it's just so hard because SpydReverse, you know, is such a serve ball team. Honestly, I'd be curious to see how Rahul and David would do as a team outside of Texas. I don't know if their serves are good enough to run through an entire tournament, but would definitely be interesting. But of course, people will be better at serve receiving, so I think they could hold their own. A little bit of an ace there from Cooper, or maybe getting a little bit of momentum here, looking to put some pressure against SpydReverse. Yeah, and I probably won't have too many notes in this match. Typically my notes for when people play against SpydReverse is just don't get aced. And the aces are coming, definitely. And this is definitely probably the worser part of the games I've seen Colton play against Rahul and David. I feel like he's definitely usually has a better handle against their serves. Maybe it's his footwork from his legs being tired or just a bad day, but like I said, going into this, I was more hopeful that he would get better ups and better touches. But maybe it's just one of those days. That's the thing about serve receive too. It's just like a few inches or a few centimeters and not getting a good touch on the ball is the difference between a great touch and a bad one. So. And then it's hard whenever you're not even getting 1, 2, 3 putaways because sets are off too, so. Colton to serve. I think Acers serving first is a good chance for them to just gain a little bit of early lead just to have some leeway because inevitably they will get aced. And that's going to be a great reverse cut against Rahul. And they point for Acers. It's going to lip up. Takes one ace. Better than none. Gonna lip up. Good call by Colton, probably. Yeah, I think that the main thing is like this is such a hard match for Cooper, just because I don't think he's played anyone with the serving caliber that Rahul and David do. I mean. Maybe Colton in warm-up, but his warm-up is going to be very different than his game. So, like, this is honestly Cooper's first exposure to, like, big serve ballers. So, you can't really expect him to, like, get a good handle on these shots because he doesn't even know, like, their serving habits. He doesn't know what they're going to throw. doesn't know how to adjust to it. Because, like I said last match, you know, in Competence Rock and Cathartic Peacock, you're serving against Ryan Canfield. It's very easy for you to commit and be like, okay, this guy is serving to the left. Serve against Rahul and David, like they can go left, corkscrew, right, sideways, drop. There's just so many options to cover, and it's very easy to not know which way to go. I think my only tip for Cooper was just being lighter on his feet. Because right now he kind of just stays in the middle and he doesn't move at all. But I mean, I know he's trying his best, so. And he needs to be side shuffling. Like right now he's just staying put. And I think that's why they're getting a lot of no-touch aces against him. Yeah. That's another thing too. I mean, it's one thing to be getting ace, but not putting on your own serves. There's just so much to, I guess, take away from his quality of play. I mean, honestly, just for Acers in general. Because the things they can control, which is their sets, maybe their hits as well, they're not doing that well because the first touch is often pretty bad. Overall, it's just a hard game. Really curious, because SpydReverse, I don't want to make a for sure statement because anything can always happen. But most likely they're going to go to the finals. And I'm just really curious about who is going to see them there. Because the only person I could really see beating them would be... I don't know. I mean, I still think... I don't know. It's going to be hard for whoever to beat them. But from South Division... I mean, Fred's going to have to be on for serve receive. And then Rahul and David both are pretty bad against jam. So if Frederick jams them, then I think he will do well. But I don't know how Noah would do. I think Noah's better than Cooper. But I still don't think Noah has as much experience against hard serves. In the same way Cooper doesn't. A good up by David. Easy 1, 2, 3 put away through the hole. And a point for SpydReverse. Once you start getting into having a variety of serves, you can take away a lot from your consistency. That is true. Yeah. I think that's something that's helping Kyle Walsh stay consistent. You know, last game he was doing the same stance, same serve over and over again. And he was performing really well. Good attempt by Colton. Can't put it on. But the downside of Kyle Walsh, you saw in the last game, you know, Ryan Canfield and South Searcy were returning him a lot more because they knew where it was going to go. And they had played the same serve over and over again. It's going to be a lip up from David. So yeah, I definitely agree with you, Jared. That is something that a lot of people forget. You don't just develop another serve hunky-dory overnight. It takes lots of practice and getting used to. Yeah. I think that's good, and once those serves get developed and you're used to using them, that's when you branch out for another one. Honestly, I could take a lesson in that. It's going to lip up, and that's just going to be unfortunate. Colton with the up on that. Point for SpydReverse. If you can help your serves, keep simple. Yeah, I definitely agree. Definitely agree. A nice reverse by Rahul there. Getting the ace on Colton. That's going to be 10-5 now. Yeah, that's something that's like, you know, it's hard because like I feel like I perform pretty well on the other aspects of competitive round net. But like for me personally, sometimes it grinds against me because I'm not much of a serve baller, and like I see people just do these ridiculous serves, you know. And like that's like something like I want to do, and it kind of makes me frustrated. So I'm trying to do all these fancy things to catch them off guard, and when it's not working, it's just like you know. So it is easy to get deterred if you're not a serve baller, but just gotta stay consistent in everything else. Which some days I'm pretty fairly consistent, and other days I'm just like not finding the sets or my hits are too high, stuff like that. That being said though, I am practicing serves. I was trying to practice today when I got back from playing, but it was raining outside. I may go after this match to hit a few. David to serve, he gets a drop on the front side. That's going to be an ace against Colton. Up 12-6 now. I don't know if Cooper's cramping or what. Something's going on. A little bit of talking. Goes for the reverse, is gonna lip up. What is going on? There it is, Cooper. I like that he's lighter on his feet. That's a good, or a better stance. Still not the best, just because his hands are like super wide. I think you can get him up a little bit. But doing a lot better of staying lighter on his feet and being able to move laterally. That's what they need. And that's going to be game. Oh, maybe this was the second half of game one. I don't know what happened there. We're going to move on to the next one. It's going to be Series 2, Game 2. Oh, shoot. That whole time it was Series 2, Game 1. Now this is Series 2, Game 2. Sorry, y'all. A lot of the games did not upload due to the phone overheating, I assume. But this is going to be Series 2, Game 2 for sure. Last one was Series 2, Game 1, not Series 1, Game 2. That is my mistake. David to serve. Goes for his cut, and it's going to lip up. He's really getting a solid line on his cut serves today. Those things have been going wide, but I feel like they're lifting up more so than Cooper's been calling him. Because usually when he does a wide serve like that, it's against Cooper. And I don't think Colton's been a good angle on it. Because I feel like they're going wider than I'm used to seeing them go. Unless he's close too. David could be close. But like I said, like they're just going super, super wide. And I do not think they should be. Like he can go wide, but not like all the way over here. Raul to serve, 0-1. And that's going to be a double fall. A nice early start for Acers. 2-1, Colton to serve. If he can get a few aces here, I think it'll be a good opportunity for them to pull away early. And he is going to pull an ace, and that's going to be 3-1. Colton to serve. Unless Raul touched that. I don't know if he touched it. Colton to serve is going to lip up. Point for SpydReverse. Really trying to stay with it. It's always hard for me to commentate SpydReverse's matches. Or just serve ball matches in general, y'all. So I apologize if I'm low energy. Because usually it's just like ace, double fault. And y'all know. I mean, I've told y'all this before when I commentated with them. What did I run in track? I was an 800 runner and a 1600 runner. My best race was the 2 mile, but I never ran it because we didn't have 800 and 1600 runners. But my 2 mile time, 3200, was a 10:01, and I only ran it once. 800 was a 2:01, and 1600 was a 4:32. And I tried walking on to TCU, and I got in contact with the coach. But I stopped running to make a round net club instead, because I like round net a lot. Good up by Colton there. Great set by Coop, and the easy 1-2-3 put away. Yeah, track was a vibe. Y'all can't really see it, but I even have my race stuff up there. I love running. I'm waiting for shoes to come in so I can go running, but sadly... Oh, I believe there was an error on the hit, maybe? And sadly, that's going to be a point for SpydReverse. I think maybe I held it too long and clipped the front rim. Thank you. Thank you, Jared. I appreciate that. A lot of people will be like, track, you like running? And I'll just be like, come on, y'all. WyField Acers still keeping a pretty good, consistent score right now. 5-4. Keeping the point differential no more than 1. But looking to widen it in their favor. Colton to serve. Did you play any sports before round net, Jared? David to serve. Cooper gets a not Cooper. Colton gets a good up on that. Cooper with a great set and 1-2-3 finish. You swam? Yeah, you got them long arms, don't you? That's dope. You know Grant Laughlin was a swimmer before round net. Actually, he was a swimmer, and I think he did water polo. It's always amazing to hear what people did before round net and seeing how it translates to it. Swam for 10 years, dang. I don't even know how to swim, dude. Whoa, that's cool. Yeah, because you are both in the same city. That's what I was about to ask you next for my follow-up. That's funny. That's pretty dope. I respect swimmers a lot. Swimming is not an easy sport. It's gonna lip up. Colton to serve again, looking to keep the lead, maybe widen it, like I said. And he's gonna lip up. Point for SpydReverse. Good up by Colton, getting a good hit on the reverse. He goes for the 1-2-3 put away through the middle. And Acers doing a much better job of just holding. You know, Colton's getting his returns down, and Cooper's doing a good job of keeping his sets in the middle of the net, allowing Colton to hit an easy put away. Grant said on the HDR podcast that there isn't much for swim that translates. Yeah. Maybe like the stroke. Maybe you can like translate that to serving. I don't know. But I would agree. Swimming has very little. Or slim to none. And I really can't even speak on it because I don't know how to swim and I did not watch competitive swimming that much. So I couldn't tell you. But if Grant said so, then I'm not saying he's the expert in knowing round net translation, but I think he would have figured out by now. Wow, a decent set by Colton there, and sadly Cooper cannot put it on. Dang. Honestly, Colton's been running down balls today. That was honestly a decent set for the touch he got. That's true, you do need a lot of stamina for tournaments, and stamina in swimming is also important. And this is going to be SpydReverse taking the lead for the first time this game, I believe. At 9-8, Colton needs to hold here. He's been doing a good job, but if I had to guess, if Rahul puts this on, it'll be an ace. Just because I haven't put an ace on in a while. But Colton could clutch it out and just go aceless this game. Nice up. Cooper Diaz going for the on-two. And that's a point for SpydReverse. Yeah. And like I said, that's something that he needs to stop. You know, he's done it so many matches before. And I think the reason he's doing it is because, you know, Colton's set gets pretty, or not set, his touch gets pretty low. And I think Cooper's inclination, I mean, honestly though, like, if you're going to hit on two, it's typically because the set, the first touch is too low. It honestly wasn't that low though. Definitely could have gotten his hand under it. I mean, Colton's there. And my biggest problem though is that he's hitting on two into Colton. Like, if he hits on two, it has to be a wrap away from his partner. Yeah. I agree. He kind of tiptoed a little bit. No, and I know that's something, like, I don't want to commentate on that even more so than I have to. But because I know that is something Colton's been telling him. But, I don't even know if Cooper watches the streams, but I know that's something that if they do make it to playoffs, that he's going to need to not do, just because, like, in competitive round at, like, 1 or 2 points a loss is a huge difference in momentum shifts and points, because now you have, they lost that point, it's a point for SpydReverse, and against them being a serve ball team, they get to keep serving, you know, well, that could have been an easy 1-2-3 put away, and a point for Acers. And I think, I don't know. I think Cooper Diaz also may be more comfortable in his on-two hits than his setting. Which, I don't know if that's true, but that may be why he's opting for on-twos more. Yeah, I feel like he does more on-twos whenever it's right in the middle of the net. And that's definitely something that a lot of people struggle with. Setting when it's like the touch is in the middle, so that could be it. A nice little jam there. Rahul gets a touch on the ball. It's not going to be good enough, and a point for SpydReverse. Definitely agreed on that. Or not point for SpydReverse, point for Acers. Yeah, forcing errors as much as possible is really crucial. Because the thing is, if they get solid hits on the ball, Rahul and David are not the best defenders. So honestly, just getting a clean hit off the net, they're gonna have a hard time getting balls up to get offensive hits. Cause like that, I mean, that's literally as best as it gets. You know, I think this game specifically, before that, on two, Cooper had been doing a great job, and he still is doing a great job. A great job of setting up Colton, and Colton finding that hole between David and Rahul time and time again, and delivering and getting a point off of it. Colton looking for an ace here. Gets a nice reverse against Rahul. And a point for Acers. Not as low as his one we saw earlier, but definitely still effective. Going very wide to his left side. Opts for another one. Almost gets it on. I think he's going to clip rim there, though. Goes for his step out jam, I believe. Maybe try to cut that. Didn't get much cut on it, though. Colton gets a good handle on that. A little bit off net. I believe it's going to come off cleanly. And that's just unfortunate to see. You know, Colton is forced to make that underhand tweener. And David gets a random body onto the net. That's rough. That is, yeah, that is the major cheese. You know, I think the reason that's such cheese is that, like, Colton got a good hit off of that set. And then David gets the thigh back onto the net. That's rough. Cannot catch a break. I think the main thing I will say, though, is I think Colton's doing a very good job of staying composed. He may be frustrated, but he's definitely not showing it, and he's not shutting down. A lot of times, if things aren't going Colton's way, it's very easy for him to kind of just shut down and kind of just stop caring, but I think in competition, he's a lot more focused and more so like, hey, I want to win this. Especially since they're tied up, now it's 14-13, you know? No skill, just cheese. Hey, bro, it ain't easy being cheesy, dude. Nice low serve, and Cooper taking that. Like I said, David and Rahul struggle with pushes and jams, so I know that's definitely the serve that Cooper's been opting for. Hasn't really done many cut serves in Gold League. I don't know why. It's definitely something he posts on Instagram a lot, but he opts more so for his jams, I think, because they're more consistent. And another ace for Cooper Diaz, making it 16-14. Great little lefty there. And 1-2-3 put away for SpydReverse. Man, this song in the background, I don't know if y'all hear it, but it's a bop. Rahul to serve. It's going to be a little bit of a lip up. Double fall and a point for Acers. This is a chance for Acers to take a game off the SpydReverse. I believe if they did, it'd be the first team to take a game off of them. We'll see what they can do. Colton going for a few fakes, odds for the reverse. Hits rim. They did not. A good lefty up. Sadly, Cooper cannot put it on. It's a little far from the net. Understandable. Quality Soup took them to 25-23, I believe. But SpydReverse came out on top. I remember that game because I was rooting for Quality Soup. Not because I'm against SpydReverse, but you know, I mean, they're expected to win, so. It's not that I'm rooting against them, I'm more so just rooting for other teams to, like, take a game, you know? Especially since David's my partner, like, I gotta support my boy. Speaking of which, Triple Threat Tuesday, shoot. Got to make a post. And a disgusting cut serve there. Making it 19-17. Yeah, rooting for the underdog, you know? Definitely. Definitely, dude. Everyone likes a good underdog. Goes for a what the heck? Was that a lefty drop? What was that? Wow, interesting decision by David. I've never seen him do that, and I honestly think that's why Colton got tripped up. Because he does usually go for that backhand, and he hides it with his right hand too. Honestly, really good serve by David. That is not something you're used to seeing. Interesting. I think I'm going to start using that. I probably can't do that well because the drop itself wasn't that good. You know, it came off in the middle of the net. It bounced pretty high. But for one, he's never done it before, so it took Colton unexpectedly. And for two, he does hide it with the right hand coming over, so... Kudos to David. You know, David doesn't get a chance to play that much because he works 9 to 5. And then he also has a wife at home. But he does grind in his serves, and it shows a lot. Very consistent server. Cooper Diaz to serve, needing to take a point or two to keep them in this. And just like that, the momentum shift and SpydReverse is leading. And that's going to be game. Yeah, David may be getting in Cooper's head a little bit there. And that is going to be game. Yeah. 21 to 18 in favor of SpydReverse. So currently undefeated in series matches and games. SpydReverse still holding strong. I guess, I don't know. The takeaways is Cooper Diaz, stop hitting on two. Like I said, I'm a big supporter of on twos. If there is an opening, you take it and you're getting it consistently. But I think I've only seen one or two clean hit off twos by Cooper Diaz. I think he's maybe gotten one off of a whiff, but like you don't want to rely on a whiff, you don't want to rely on a whiff to get the ball off the net. So just hold off on it for now. You'll get better at recognizing when to do it, and especially someone like Colton who's doing a really good job right now of hitting. I think in the past Colton wasn't that. It wasn't that he was a bad hitter, but he wasn't like a great hitter. Now I feel like he's a great hitter. You know, he's utilizing his left and his right. Still whiffs a little bit sometimes, but I think that's more so just whenever he's more nonchalant because he's in the lead. But when he's focused, he's hitting good. So I trust in Colton hitting more. And then setting, just trust that you can set on net. You know, if it's in the center of the net, it's just an easy tap up and let your partner get it. Rahul, I don't know. I still feel like in Gold League he doesn't serve as effectively. You know, he took a little bit of aces, but I feel like he's not as an effective server as David, which I don't know if that will come back to bite them in most likely the finals, but we will see. So I guess my tip for Rahul is just turn it up whenever you're playing against really hard teams, maybe Tropical Wombats or maybe Chicken Tenders. And that's really all the takeaways I have. You know, it's just serve receive against SpydReverse, and the critique in SpydReverse is just be consistent, I guess. So I will be signing out. Just really excited, and again, really thankful to everyone who supports the WySpike streams and comes out here and watches some Gold League matches. I was just tuning in sometimes to talk around it. Aw, thank you so much, Jared. Yeah, it's honestly great to have you too. You're definitely someone I love talking to and keeps it entertaining. I love hearing what you have to say because I'm definitely a big people person. Just getting to know people is what I like doing. So definitely like streaming, like talking to you, and like talking to you. Wow, that sounded so Texan. And I like the matches tonight. Honestly, Cathartic Peacock and Incompetence Rock, really, really great match to watch. Jared, I know I think you came later on in the match, but if you have a free 30, 40 minutes, it was a good match. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. A bit of serve ball, but a few rallies in there. And with that being said, I'm going to tune out for the night. I'm going to probably go get some dinner